What's up, guys? Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys our Week 4 Team Builder, taking on Kyle O and the Jacksonville Jolteons here in MWPA Season 8 Earth. We've had a horrific start to the season with some matches that are definitely winnable, potentially could have been prevented by prep and or just, yeah, prep, realistically. Anyways, I made some moves because I was really tired of losing, and I'm just clearly not good at free draft, as this season has shown, and as the last two seasons have shown me, where I haven't picked up more than 2 wins, or 3 wins, I guess, in an 8-week season, which is kind of ridiculous. When I know that I can compete at that level if it were standard draft, there's just something about not being restricted that I just don't work with. Like maybe I'm looking at too many mons that are contestable, whereas with a restricted draft, I could see myself, you know, working around other people. In free draft, I just kind of you have to take like the best thing there, and it's really hard for me to balance out like everything that I would want in a draft, speed tiers wise, utility wise. In free draft, I don't know, but I ended up trading Aegislash to KMJ from Mimikyu because I'm just clearly not comfortable with Aegislash. I don't think the steel typing is necessary, and I ended up dropping Shedinja for Cursula, so I kept the ghost typing anyways, and Cursula is something that's going to be pretty imperative on the team. It's honestly shocking to me that it was still there, but it offers me a lot of what I wanted out of Shedinja that I couldn't get. It's a rocker, it's the same speed tier as Shedinja, and it's a fantastic special attacker, which I think is something else that my team was lacking a little bit. I couldn't really rely on special Aegislash as much as I can rely on like dedicated special Cursula. Something about Aegislash just doesn't click with me. Maybe it's the fact that I'm giving them a free turn with King's Shield. That 50-50 is just weird, and I don't like playing with it. But Kyle's team, he's got Clefable, Rotom Wash, Dugtrio, Duraludon, Eldegoss, Chandelure, Drapion, Aselgor, Sneasel, Hitmonlee, and Stonjourner. Priority options, he's got the Dugtrio with Sucker Punch, Sneasel with Ice Shard, Hitmonlee with Sucker Punch, Fake Out, and Mach Punch. And Bullet Punch, I guess, as well. I forgot about that. Hazard setting, he's got Clefable. Actually, I should write down Bullet Punch, because that's important. Bullet Punch. It's important for Mimikyu. So, hazard setting, he's got the Clefable with Rocks, which I think it retained this gen. Dugtrio with Rocks, which I'm fairly certain it retained this gen. Duraludon with Rocks, which I know for sure that it got. Drapion with T-Spikes, which I believe it retained this gen. A Selgor with Spikes and Toxic Spikes. Not sure if it retained both of those, or if it only retained Spikes, because Toxic Spikes was an Ultra Sun Ultra Moon edition, and I'm not sure if that was an addition. Well, I know it was a breeding edition for it, but I'm not sure if it was a breeding edition for it from something that isn't in the game anymore. I don't really care if it is or isn't, because I'm bringing Quillfish anyways, but that's a thing. And then Stonjourner also gets Rocks. Removal options potentially would have Rotom with Defog, but not in this matchup. I just like writing it down. Rotom does not retain Defog. This is pre-home, even though post-home is dropping. As I'm recording this, I'm actually downloading Pokemon Home on my Switch. Eldegoss gets Rapid Spin, I know that for sure, and Hitmonlee retained Rapid Spin. I believe it was a level up move. So he's got 2 spinners, no defoggers, that's what I see. Lots of hazard setting on his side though. And then 1 4x weakness in Sneasel to Fighting, which is not changed by anything in the games. The only thing I don't really see coming here is Eldegoss. I think Eldegoss has pretty much a horrendous matchup against all of my offense. I don't see any reason why Eldegoss should come in this game. That's about that. Alright, moving on. Quillfish on my side, I'm bringing a Shukaberry set, which is relatively physically defensive. Shukaberry is there for the Dugtrio if it tries to trap me. I think Spikes look pretty good here, because I don't necessarily see Hitmonlee coming against the team with Togekiss and Mimikyu, but again, that's why it's important that it gets Bullet Punch. It could be Revenge Killer for the Weavile, however, so worthwhile in prepping for it still. But Spikes are pretty solid in this matchup, I think. Everything is grounded except for Rotom, so a lot of stuff's going to take spike damage if the Hitmonlee doesn't come to remove, because again, I don't think Eldegoss has a chance in hell of showing up. Poison Jab is there for the Clefable. This is my main Clefable answer. Liquidation is there for Chandelure and realistically just everything, but it's in particular, it's my Sneasel and Drapion answer. And then I've got Toxic there to deal with Unaware Clef if he's choosing to be Unaware Clef from Mimikyu, or at the very least scouting it out, getting a Toxic off on Rotom. Toxic is hard to come by in this generation, so it's nice that I have the option Quillfish. Duraludon is pretty much a free switch, but I also get a free switch into Conkeldurr on the Duraludon, so it's nice that I can just get up a spike on that and then leave. Dip, as the childrens say. Flapple's next. This is my Rotom Wash answer because, wow, offensive Rotom Wash kind of dicks me down. So I was like, alright, well, I guess I'm not doing that, and I guess I'll bring Spidef Flapple like I did for Rotom Mow. When was that, week 1? Yeah, week 1, where I brought Spidef Flapple for Rotom Mow. So I'm bringing the same sort of idea with Ripen and Guava Berry, Acid Spray, U-Turn, Grab Apple, Recycle. Acid Spray is actually pretty useful against a lot of stuff that would want to come here. I'm not sure Duraludon would want to switch in right off the bat against Flapple. I could have potentially teched on Draco Meteor for that because it is paper on the Spidef side, as well as Stonjourner. It's kind of interesting that he paired Stonjourner and Duraludon together because they both really hate taking special hits and they're fine physically defensively wise. But I guess Eldegoss kind of patches that up a little bit. There's not anything besides Eldegoss that really has that impressive of a Spidef stat on this team though. So it's pretty specially weak team, and that's one of the reasons I'm bringing Cursula on the end that you probably cannot see. I've got Recycle here for a Guava Berry because it's really easy for me to proc Ripen plus a Guava Berry if I'm constantly switching into Rotom all the time, and this could actually get really annoying for him. Acid Spray is a way for me to deal with Clefable. It doesn't really do anything for my physical offense though. Maybe it's worthwhile for me not to run Grab Apple and to run Giga Drain instead or something, or Energy Ball. Or just Draco. No, maybe Energy Ball instead of Grab Apple. Yeah, we'll go with that. Go with Energy Ball. And then we'll change the EVs here to be that and Calm. There we go. So now Acid Spray is going to help a little bit more against the Clefable. Yeah, that's really the whole idea of Flapple, is that it can pivot into Rotom. It doesn't matter if it's Volt Switching on me because you know, it has to Volt Switch into like Sneasel or something, which doesn't get Pursuit anymore, so it's not that big of a problem. And if it's going to go for the Ice move, then I can just go Quillfish. If it's going to go for the Dark type move, I can just go into Conk. So, you know, I've got ways of playing around the Sneasel. I don't think it's that big of a deal. And actually, I should consider putting Mach Punch on Conk. I don't know why I don't have Mach Punch on here. What could I drop from Mach Punch? Earthquake. Yeah, Earthquake. Mach Punch. There we go. Don't need Earthquake because I'm running Payback. And I was like, why can I not touch the Chandelure even though I already had Earthquake on it? So Payback is there for the Chandelure. That's the main idea behind it at least. And that is pretty much it. I don't really need Earthquake. Or I don't really need Payback. One of the two. Payback's actually going to hit it a little bit harder because I'll move second. And so it'll be the same power as Earthquake. No, I'd rather just run Earthquake then. I don't know what my brain was thinking. I'm very, very sorry about that. I have no idea what my brain was saying. Anyways, I'm very specially defensive Assault Vest. This is really easy to switch into Duraludon, and it's really easy for me to switch into Chandelure because I'm extremely Spidef Assault Vest with a little bit of attack there. Poison Jab is there for the Clef. Mach Punch, obviously I just put on for the Sneasel, but it'll also help against the Dugtrio. Drain Punch just hits a lot of this team really well. And Earthquake is there for the Chandelure. That's pretty much all that I would need it for. Poison Jab will be fine against the Accelgor. I don't really see myself having to handle the Accelgor that much, but if I do, I don't think that Clef would be a bad switch in for him, so Poison Jabbing the Accelgor is fine as well. I'm careful, I'm Spidef, I'm Assault Vest, I'm Guts. I'm Guts. Okay, so this is for Will-O-Wisp Chandelure and Will-O-Wisp Rotom. I thought about Iron Fist, and then I wasn't really running any punch moves besides Drain Punch, and then I just put Mach Punch on. So Iron Fist looks kind of better now. And I thought about Sheer Force for Poison Jab, but I kind of want the Poison, so Guts is fine here anyways, especially if I do get poisoned by like Toxic Spikes Drapion or something. It's fine. It's honestly fine. Mimikyu, I'm running a Lumberry set. It does not have Z moves, so a little bit nerfed there. The Disguise nerf isn't the biggest deal in the world, though. Swords Dance, Shadow Sneak, Player off Shadow Claw. This is pretty much perfect coverage against what I would be facing here. There's not really a reason to have anything else besides maybe Woodhammer to kill Rotom a little bit faster. But I'm Lumberry anyways for Will-O-Wisp. The biggest issue that Mimikyu is going to run into here is Unaware Clef, because this can just clean up really, really effectively against this team. Everything that's faster than me naturally either can't kill me outright i.e. Sneasel, unless it's running Banded Metal Claw and my disguise is already broken. What's the other one? Dougie can't kill me outright because I can just Shadow Sneak it, and there's almost no reason for a Spike not to be up on his side of the field. And what's the other thing that's faster than me, naturally? A Selgor. A Selgor can't kill me outright. So I can just Shadow Sneak the Selgor and the Dougie, and then Sneasel, most of the time it probably won't be able to kill me, and I can just play rough it. Everything else drops to like Shadow Claw play rough, and I pretty much don't need to sneak anything else. I'm outspeeding Drapion with the speed investment, max attack, a little bit of HP. Togekiss, I'm running Scarf Togekiss with Air Slash, Trick, Dazzling Gleam, and Encore. Encore is there if I can drop the Trick, I can Encore Clef into like Wish or something. Or Moonlight, which would be super useful actually. I could Encore the Drapion into Toxic Spike, something like that, I don't know. Encore the Eldegoss into Rapid Spin, I'm not sure about that one. Variety of things that I could Encore something into. Let's put it that way. Besides that, Dazzling Gleam just ass blasts this team. There is a total of 1 Fairy Resist on this team, and it is Chandelure, which I have Conkeldurr to switch into all of the time. Flapple's actually going to be half decent switch into it, although I won't be able to touch it back necessarily. And Quillfish is kind of an okay switch into it. Mimikyu can obviously revenge it, and in theory, my Cursula will be able to do the same thing. Air Slash flinching to this team to death is fairly easy. I don't want to trick the Rotom Wash a Scarf, so I have to be really careful about that. I know I tried flinching something to death. When was it? Week 2? Yeah, the Rotom Fan that ended up showing up. I've played 3 Rotoms this season already. Holy crap. And there's a Rotom Heat down the line too. Goodness gracious. No Rotom Frost, so that's a pog, but I'm annoyed by how many Rotom Appliances my team has to face when I'm so weak to all of them. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Like, I can flinch a lot of this team to death. Like, the flying resists on this team are Rotom, Stonjourner, and Duraludon. And Stonjourner and Duraludon are both going to fucking drop because they have piss poor SpDef stats. Piss poor SpDef stats. Rotom is the only check to Togekiss in this game, is what I'm saying. Air Slash is just going to demolish everything else. And I'm Scarfed, so I should outspeed everything. That's about it. Alright, moving on. Oh, I'm speed tying Chandelure. There we go. Cursula is last. I'm running a Colbur Berry Cursula so that I can tank a hit from the Drapion or the Sneasel with Shadow Ball, Destiny Bond, Stealth Rock, and Earth Power. In theory, what this should do is I can tank like a knockoff from Sneasel, Destiny Bond, and then I get a free hit on it, or I get free rocks or something. Or I can tank the hit from the Drapion and kill it with the Colbur Berry, and then Destiny Bond's useless, and the Cursula is probably useless at that point, but it's a really effective breaker. Like I mentioned, the SpDef on this team is pretty poor. It's basically just Eldegoss, and the Ghost Resists are like Drapion and Sneasel combined, which again is what the Colbur Berry is there for, so it should be reasonably easy for me to get off Shadow Balls pretty effectively. I am max HP with no defense investment, and then max special attack modest. I'm weak armor, so if something does hit me, then I'll move faster than a lot of stuff, but I'm not really invested to do that. So, like 182? 182? Or is it 192, I guess, with 180 plus 12? Yeah, 192, which is not going to outspeed much. Not really going to outspeed much. In fact, it should outspeed almost nothing, except like Clef and Eldegoss. It might outspeed no investment Rotom, maybe no investment Rotom, but I don't think so. I think no investment Rotom would still outspeed this actually at +2, but it doesn't really matter. Perish Body is pretty irrelevant this game, but you know what? It actually might be better than weak armor. If I can take 2 hits, then weak armor will put me in a position where I can outspeed things and start breaking, but lowering my defense sounds like not a play. So Perish Body it is. I'm changing that to Perish Body because Perish Body is just a little bit better. It's Perish Song, and it'll force something out if I die in 3 turns at the very least. So, or I'll get a kill out of it. So yeah. Anyways, that's Cursula. I think Cursula's got a pretty good matchup here. Just in terms of breaking, in terms of what I'm not bringing, Arcanine is like a yikes because Dougie is coming and Chandelure just chomps those hits. Besides that, why else would I not want to bring Arcanine? Rotom Wash is pretty annoying, and I'd have to bring like a Solar Beam set. I just don't like using Arcanine. I tried farming it off for Rotom Heat, and then I was going to get rid of Raichu, but Spatula did not want to get rid of Rotom Heat, and there's like no other good fire type, so I'm still relying on Arcanine a little bit because, you know, it's my only fire type, and there's like no other good options. Weavile against Baby Weavile, it's not the best matchup in the world, but it does kind of scare off Dougie a little bit because I could outspeed it and Ice Shard it or something. No knockoff is kind of a yikes. Like Sneasel and Drapion are both going to have to run like Throat Chop themselves, so I don't really know how I feel about Weavile in this matchup. It's not terrible, but it's also not the best thing in the world. It's pretty annoying playing like really good fairies like Clef when I just cannot hit them. And I feel like I've run into this a few times. Not last week. The week before there was an Alchemy that I had to prep for. It didn't even show up. And then in week 1 there was no fairy. So I mean, Clef is just really annoying to prep for, to be honest. But yeah, that's why I'm not bringing Weavile. Orbeetle, Dual Dark, there's really no reason for me to bring Orbeetle. It just loses to Chandelure. Orbeetle's got quite the unmatchup this game. Even Stonjourner just kind of shits on it with Stone Edge. Piloswine doesn't get toxic anymore, so what's the point? Rotom just hardwalls it. There's like actually zero reason to bring Piloswine in this game. It's honestly not doing anything to anything, so I'm not bringing Piloswine. And then Raichu is such an unmon. And it's not coming. So, yeah, that's my explanation. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys for the match against Kyle and the Jacksonville Jolteons.